Several years ago, I came across two stories about a day apart in our local newspaper. They showed categorically how faith works. The stories were powerful, and I want to share them with you. In the late winter of 1984, 5 armed convicts escaped from a maximum security prison in western Tennessee. They terrorized residents across the state for several days. During this time, our local newspaper carried stories of how 2 people who considered themselves to be Christians handled personal confrontations with the convicts, both very differently and with very different outcomes. The first article was entitled, "Escapees Kill Tennessee Man." It read like this: 2 escaped convicts who vowed not to be captured alive killed a Sunday school teacher, grilling steaks in his backyard, and abducted his wife, breaking through a police dragnet before freeing the woman unharmed 400 miles away. It turns out that the Sunday school teacher's home was not far from the prison, and he put a pistol in his belt before going out to grill steaks. 2 of the convicts came out of hiding and shot the man dead when he pulled his gun on them. The fact is, a lot of people put faith in firearms. The second article was titled, "Armed Killer Succumbs to Home Cooking, Bible," and it read like this: An escaped murderer, armed with a shotgun, became a little child in the hands of a 73-year-old grandmother who insisted he eat breakfast and then persuaded him to surrender by preaching about Jesus. When the man came into her house, the woman told him, "Put your gun down. I'm a Christian woman and I don't want any violence." He did. She asked him about his family. She told him that she loved him, and she prayed for him. He hadn't eaten in 3 days. She insisted on feeding him. In the end, he gave himself up. Jesus tells us in the Sermon on the Mount, "Love your enemies. Bless those who curse you. Do good to those who hate you. And pray for those who spitefully use you and persecute you." The Apostle Paul adds in his letter to the Romans, "Do not be overcome by evil, but overcome evil with good." Do we have enough faith to do what Jesus and the Apostle Paul tell us to do? This woman did, and her faith worked. Does it always work this way? Of course not. It didn't work this way for Jesus. No one lived a more faithful life than he did, and his enemies nailed him to a cross. But hold on. Faith did work for Jesus. God raised him from the dead. There are no guarantees in this life. We just know that faith works, and no matter what happens in this life, God will have the final say in the day of resurrection. Again, as the Apostle Paul tells us in his first letter to the Corinthians, "But now Christ is risen from the dead, and has become the first fruits of those who have fallen asleep. But each one in his own order, Christ the first fruits, afterward those who are Christ's at his coming." Faith does work, both in the short term and always in the day of resurrection at Christ's coming.